Can he make it 5 world championships? Maybe he can.
I've never known a race like that. You just know exactly what's going to happen.
Piastri just ploughs into Verstappen.
Stella and Brown ripping up Papaya Rules on the pit wall.
Hello and welcome to the Inside Track, the podcast that takes you behind the scenes of Formula One through our exclusive access to Red Bull Racing. I'm Rick Edwards, journalist, broadcaster and Formula One fan.
And I'm sports journalist Matt Majendie.
Lots to get stuck into on today's show. Max does it again, taking the title race down to the final weekend of the Grand Prix calendar. Can he make it 5 world championships? I mean, maybe he can. It's nuts. 104 points back he was at the end of August, and now 12 points behind the leader Lando Norris. McLaren only really got themselves to blame here. They mess up the second race in a row. Have the Papaya Rules been at least part of their downfall? We'll discuss that. And we'll look ahead to 2026. Is Isaac Hadjar going to do the business in what you have to say is a cursed Red Bull second seat? As always, if you want to watch this episode or get the latest video content from Race Day, subscribe to our YouTube channel, the Inside Track Podcast. Effectively, Matt, if I'm Oscar Piastri, I am looking at this weekend and thinking I could not have done anything better. Like from his point of view, he was perfect. He was really quick. He didn't make any mistakes. And yet somehow he hasn't won the race. I'd be spitting feathers.
Did you see his interviews afterwards? He was literally speechless for a point.
Yeah,
he just didn't know what to say.
What can you say?
Been in the brief, but also being in that briefing afterwards would have been. That's where everyone wanted to be, to hear what he had to say. Norris, Andrea Stella, Zach Brown. I mean, he was perfect. Literally so much better than everyone else, and just back. It was like the Piastri of earlier in the season, and yet somehow he hasn't won that race. It's bizarre, bonkers.
Yeah, and McLaren. We were just talking before we came on. McLaren, I think, as you know, I was speaking to Zach Brown at an event on Thursday, and he was, disappointed about the double disqualification, obviously, but I think slightly one of those things, a little bit unlucky. Maybe they were having this problem with some porpoising, and you just have to sort of move on from that. And there probably isn't a single. There's not a single mistake or anything in there particularly, I don't think. Whereas this weekend, they've just made a poor decision, which they've held their hands up to. But it does sort of feel like they're throwing this away.
It's so costly. It's so costly what they did. And they were the only people apart from Ocon. Ocon was the only other person that didn't pit. There were 3 people that didn't pit and 2 are from McLaren. And they must have been going straight away, oh no, we have royally screwed this up. And it's of their own doing. And I thought it was fascinating. Did you see the sort of wind up that Verstappen was being afterwards?
Yeah.
I don't know what Papaya Rules is, but I like it. And he's going to continue. He's just going to keep on stirring for the rest of this week leading up to the last race, because
he knows his role as pantomime villain, and he's playing it perfectly.
I mean, he is loving it, and he can't. He's just smiling in every interview. Yeah. He says, "It doesn't matter what happens now. I might win number 5. I might not. Who cares?" And he literally talks like he's having the time of his life. I think he loved that race. I think he's loved all the previous races. Just pure enjoyment, and just seeing your rivals just slowly collapse from within. It's very entertaining.
Yeah, and he is clearly relishing it. I don't think there's any pressure on him at all still, because he should not be in this title race by rights. Like McLaren have, for I know not so much in the second half of the season, but they have got the best car, and they should be. A long way. Yeah, they really should be. I do wonder if there is part of Verstappen who is looking back at the penalty he got for crashing into George Russell
in Spain. Yeah, I mean, it's interesting. He's talked about it in a couple of interviews of late, saying, if there's one thing he'd go back on, which it's hard to do in the course of a 24 race season, you're going to make mistakes, but really that's his only one proper mistake.
Yeah, I'd say so.
But points wise, it is costly. You look back on that and he does regret it. Wouldn't have done it again. In heat of the moment, it was an error and it is costly points wise. But I mean, over the course of the season, he seems kind of at ease with that.
Yeah.
That was the mistake he made then, and if it denies him, it denies him.
And then once McLaren had made the mistake and not pitted, it all sort of like you knew exactly how it was going to pan out, and both McLaren drivers knew exactly how it was going to pan out, and it just almost felt like it was happening in slow motion. Do you know what I mean?
It's funny, isn't it? I've never known a race like that when you just know exactly what's going to happen, but it created unbelievable level of mayhem in the pits. Yeah. It was fine for Verstappen being out in front; he could get his change done and out again. But geez, I mean, how people didn't come together more. People were toing and froing. I think there was an Aston Martin mechanic, I think, very nearly got taken out by, maybe it was Russell or someone. But utter mayhem. But yeah, just the predictability. The only thing I wasn't sure about was whether Verstappen's tyres might go off at the end or something like that. That was that one bit whether that was a slight unknown perhaps in the final laps, but it didn't materialise at all.
And yeah, Verstappen, the thing with him is he just, as we just said, he's made arguably only one mistake all season. He just doesn't slip up.
I can't think of another one unless I'm being stupid. I just can't. It's amazing, isn't it? Over the course of the season, to think there hasn't been another error, and the speeds they're doing, the competitiveness, the drivers he's up against, those drives into turn one, how he's not got caught in any of those moments.
And he is driving. I mean, they all are, but he of every driver is driving right on the edge, and he's comfortable there.
Yeah, it doesn't seem to bother him at all. But he knows. You say it's on the edge, but he knows the exact balance, doesn't he? It's so incredible to watch. He knows the exact tipping point of the car, and he clearly wasn't happy with the car over the course of the weekend. Complaining about the bouncing, the porpoising they were having, some quite fractious exchanges with GP over the radio, and yet he's still come away with a win. And it's great. It goes down to the final race. Everyone loves it. We haven't had a title fight with more than two drivers in it for 15 years. I think 2010 was the last big kind of. I think there was 4 then in contention mathematically. And it's just great, isn't it? For the sport, for everyone watching. Love it.
It's exactly as you would kind of script it. Except if you did script it, it would feel slightly implausible, the way that it's played out. Let's just do our little check-in with Yuki. Decent sprint qualification. And then downhill from there.
Yeah, that's a very succinct and accurate summary. I was really impressed. That sprint, I mean, I know Max had a off and then it compromised his next lap, but that was a pretty good pace. But yeah, then sort of didn't go so well. Didn't go so well from after that. But we'll find out what that means for him tomorrow, basically, of what the future entails.
I mean, we know, don't we, at this point?
Well, I think we definitely know. Like Red Bull, it's going to be Max with Isaac Hadjar. That seems to have been written a long time ago. What's not clear?
Have you had that confirmed from the team?
No one's confirming anything. So, and they've said Mecchi has said absolutely categorically he's not giving anything away until tomorrow. When I last spoke to him, he sort of insisted the decision hadn't been made on either drive, and it was still sort of 90% there or whatever it was. But it seems to ebb and flow that Lawson was going to Lindblad was going to come in and Lawson then keep his place, but then Tsunoda would come in and then Lawson go, and now they're thinking, is Lindblad too young? So actually, I think it is pretty tight call. Depends who you're talking to and who you're reading from of how that plays out. But it'll be an interesting announcement tomorrow.
In terms of the rest of the race, you wonder how significant Norris getting past Antonelli right at the death will be. Just that extra couple of points, how critical that may prove.
I think if you work out the maths, if he hadn't done that, if Max had won in Abu Dhabi, Lando I think then third, they're equal on points, but then Max wins off the basis of wins on wins. So there's that. So whatever if Max has to go into that race and win it, Lando has to just be on the podium. If that's sufficient for him, immaterial, that's sufficient for him to win the title. So I don't know. That was sort of exciting. And I liked the suggestion from GP that it was Antonelli had given it away. I think he apologised to Wolff afterwards, heat of the moment sort of thing. But Helmut Marko went in 2-footed challenge and said, sort of a very much conspiracy theorist from him, and Wolf is fuming and going, "What the hell are you talking about? That's absolute nonsense." But I love all that. It's all the extra theatre afterwards.
But also, that's exactly what I want from Helmut Marko.
Yes, he knows what he's doing, isn't
Yeah,
he?
he does.
So he's doing his own wind up in a different
Yeah.
sense. But yeah, beautifully played.
Great race from Carlos Sainz.
I really thought his pace would go, and when you heard him come over the radio, you heard that exasperated, "Oh no," there's something wrong with his tyre. He wasn't able to turn into the corners. I think to the right was a problem, to the left not a problem. And you sort of thought, "Oh no, this chance is going to go begging." But his pace was still good, and he held in there.
Yeah.
And what's hilarious is Williams went into this weekend thinking this was going to be possibly their worst weekend. They really didn't feel that their car was suited to this. They made quite a different setup change, and lo and behold, a remarkable result. He's had a great last few races. Second half of the season has been great for him, hasn't it?
Yeah,
bodes well going into next year with him and Albon. If they can get things right, and their engine is good, which seems like it will be, then yeah, exciting times for them.
Isaac Hadjar, really unlucky. Really unlucky. I mean, you're basically brutal. At the end. That psychologically, that's a killer, isn't it?
It's just so harsh. I didn't hear his race radio. Did he come over? Did you hear him say? I can't remember.
Didn't actually, no.
But yeah, that just hideous misfortune for him, poor chap.
He's been really impressive this season, and that is why we think he will be in that Red Bull second seat. I just don't know how you begin to assess whether someone is going to make a success of that seat, or what a success even looks like. Really, it's so hard, and it will continue to be so hard. And obviously, you're never going to say no to being put in a inverted commas better car. But there must be part of him that thinks, I'm doing quite nicely as is. Like, why would I kind of risk it in this seat that doesn't work out for, or hasn't worked out for anybody for ages?
Well, my understanding is he initially did push back when talks were about him possibly taking the step up, that he felt another season would be good, to find his feet, less pressure, become a better driver. But then, you can't really turn down your employers, can you? They're saying, well, actually, we think you're the right man for the job. But I don't know, every driver has an ego.
The speed with which Red Bull kind of move, if you don't take it now, the opportunity might be gone.
That's also
not the kind of team to go, we'll hold on to it for 12 months for you, no problem.
That's also very true. But drivers have an ego, and Hadjar will be no different, and he'll believe that he can do it where others have failed. And you have to have that self-belief. I think Lawson felt it, Tsunoda felt it. But yeah, no one's properly cracked it, apart from, early seasons of Verstappen's career. People were close-ish to him. Perez did it for a period of time, particularly at street races. He would get the bettering. I think the last time Verstappen was behind anyone in a race, a teammate, was Azerbaijan 2024. That was so in the street races. Actually, Perez had the making, but he couldn't sustain it at all. Whether Hadjar can do, I don't know. I'm always fascinated by the idea that you put in a Hamilton or a Leclerc or whoever, Alonso, someone at peak of their powers, how they would fare against Verstappen. Is he that much better than absolutely everybody on the grid, or has he not had a driver of that ilk to test him in the same car?
But it's sort of it's deeper than that, isn't it? Because Red Bull are they are putting all of their efforts into designing a car for Max Verstappen to be quick in. That I don't think they're trying to make two cars equally competitive. So why would a driver at the peak of their powers come in unless they were going to get a guarantee that as much was going to be put into their car? And I don't think they're going to get that guarantee, are they?
I think they could do. Yeah, why not? Why not? This is my dream scenario. Be fun just to see it.
They
not yet.
They haven't done it.
No.
I don't think they've showed any signs of doing it. And I mean, it's so fascinating because it's like the polar opposite of what McLaren are trying to do. Couldn't be further away, which is why it's such an intriguing and engaging battle, isn't it?
Well, it'd be fascinating to see who wins out, which was the right approach. I mean, in the constructors, obviously, McLaren are streets ahead.
Yeah.
What Red Bull need? I mean, I guess if you come in as a driver, you're Hadjar, you need to be scoring points consistently, and you need to be within a couple of tenths of your teammate. I guess would that be a sort of rough summation of the target for a driver coming in?
I think so, and
Yeah.
I mean, effectively, you need to be contributing in a way that means that Red Bull are somewhere, in contention for a constructors.
Mm-hmm.
That's sort of it, isn't it? And Max, he can't do that on his own. Pretty close. You're pretty close, but you need it bolstered a bit, and that's what the second driver has to do.
I mean, last season he took 75% of the team's points, and it's probably even greater. I can't remember now this season.
Must be. Yeah.
Someone has to weigh in. He can't do that solo. And if they want to have aspirations for the constructors, which they will do as a team, they're an ambitious team. They've won it 6 times before. They want to do that again. They need to have someone who is scoring consistently in the points. And Hadjar has shown he can do that in a racing bull. Can he do it in a Red Bull? I guess we'll find out soon enough.
We've got to talk about these Papaya Rules again.
Yeah.
I asked Zach Brown about this quite directly, really, and he completely stuck to his guns. And I was sort of I think I believed him. Like, he said, this is how we want to do it. We are going to stick with this. The only scenario in which we'll change is if let's say that mathematically Piastri was out, which he isn't, then that would change it. But while both of them can still win, then they race. And I think they've probably they can't do anything but that now. Like, I don't see he wants he wants to get a 1-2 having had complete fairness, and obviously that would be amazing. But if you end up with a 2-3, it will look like a complete disaster.
It's funny, isn't it? Because it's a very admirable, like, he's a pure racer, and it's
Absolutely.
a very admirable idea.
Yes,
but it's backfiring. This you can be sort of, it's like an over fairness, isn't it? They were, because the issue was if they pitted Piastri, then that would have double stacked Norris, and so Piastri would have been fine, but Norris would have lost places. That would have been fair. But then they didn't pit Piastri, so they couldn't. And Norris was going, well, why didn't I come in after Verstappen? And they couldn't. They couldn't then do that because that wouldn't be fair either. So it becomes a bit of a nonsense, and that was the essence of it, wasn't it?
Yeah, they tied themselves in knots, basically.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
They came out after and said no, that wasn't it. They just they thought that was the best thing to do.
Really? I know. I heard them say that, but do you think that's?
For me, as soon as you see Verstappen coming in, get in there. If I'm Norris, just get in there. But yeah, I kind of, it's so fascinating to see how it plays out now.
Oh God, it's going to be a tense week. Whereas Red Bull,
so.
You can sort of see they're going to be incredibly relaxed and I mean, not relaxed. They'll be at ease, driven to keep on pushing and make sure the car set up, everything's all right going into the weekend. But you would imagine there's going to be so much pressure on Stella, on Brown, on Norris as the leader. Not necessarily pressure on Piastri with where he stands, I don't think. But yeah, that's and they know if they mess it up, they're not going to hear the end of it, are they? Those bosses.
I still think Norris will do it. I think that the McLarens will be good.
Yeah.
In Abu Dhabi, I can't. It's only. I think it's only going to be driver error that prevents them from getting it done. It's
still possible, isn't it?
Of
pressure, all of that.
Of course, and that neither Piastri or Norris has been in that position before, really. Well, Piastri definitely not, and Norris no. I mean, also Norris not actually been closer, but
But the pressure they'll be under on for that one lap in Q3 or that, the start for the race, and Verstappen will just be like, oh, whatever, whatever goes. I wouldn't like to be in their shoes. Verstappen, interestingly, says he doesn't get nervous going into races, whereas Norris and Piastri do. I don't know whether I believe that. I'd be incredibly nervous for any single race start, but
yeah, he doesn't. I mean, he certainly doesn't appear nervous, Verstappen, does he?
No, he doesn't. No.
Okay, I think that's the Qatar Grand Prix wrapped up. Next stop, final stop on the Formula One calendar, final race of the season. It all comes down to what happens in Abu Dhabi. We'll get to that next, but first, let's take a look at our predictions. So a quick reminder of our prediction rules. A point for each driver on the podium, 2 points if we get a driver in the correct podium position, and a huge 6 points if we absolutely nail the 1, 2, 3. Over the season, we're up against each other, and then you, the audience, as well as some form of AI. Matt, you went for Norris, Verstappen, Piastri, so that gets you 2 points. I went Verstappen, Norris, Piastri.
Oh, very good.
Which gives me 3 points. AI bot was Norris, Piastri, Verstappen. It's clearly a worse prediction than me, but also gets it 3 points.
You love this little argument.
Yeah, I do. Yeah, and then audience member selected at random on YouTube. Sioko74 went for Verstappen, Russell, Piastri, so also 3 points. So everyone getting 3 points except you.
For me,
we're hunting you down, Matt. Giving us a little glimpse, a little glimmer of hope.
No, I'm just focusing on this race. This last race is like all the rest. There's no pressure. Yeah.
Well, with one race to go, this is how our leaderboard looks. So the leaderboard, as it stands, with one race to go, Matt, you have 46. I have 44, snapping at the heels. The audience have 42. The AI has 41. So 5 points clear of the AI. You've got to feel like you've done the AI. You've probably done the audience, but there's still hope for me. And I suppose we're going to find out how you deal with pressure now.
It's just another race, Richard.
You look nervous.
I actually suddenly feel it.
Yeah, rightly so.
Imagine, have I led all season?
I think you have.
And then if I get denied,
I think you have.
Denied on the checkered flag. If you hit a 6-pointer on that last race, sweet 6-pointer.
You will never ever hear the end of it from me. The next race on the Formula One calendar, then Abu Dhabi this Sunday, 7th of December. I mean, we can talk about the circuit and so on, but I don't know. I don't know how relevant that is. I think both Red Bull and McLaren will probably be good, and it's going to come down to how the drivers perform, isn't it?
Yeah, I think the normal sort of sensibility. I think McLaren would perhaps be a bit better here, but
yeah,
all of that stuff just goes out the window because of what's at stake and the pressure. And I mean, and it's how they feed off that. It's how they thrive or survive from that, because the spotlight from the moment they get to Abu Dhabi will be enormous on all three of them. And we know what Verstappen's approach is, whatever, like he just doesn't seem to care. But it's how, we'll learn a lot about Lando Norris as a driver, as an individual, as a potential champion for how this plays out in the next few days.
I'd be lying if I said I wasn't pretty excited about turn one.
Yeah, no, that's very true. Also, I'm just really excited about qualifying because there's some bizarre results that happen. And, under the pressure, if you make a mistake in that final lap in Q3, you can suddenly find yourself down in 6th or whatever. We've seen some funny ones. So there is a lot. There's going to be a lot on that first turn, that first lap.
So slightly mad question, maybe.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
Is there an argument for almost not wanting to be on the front row if you're Lando or Oscar? Like being on the second row is slightly safer?
Well, you say that, but then there's the danger. There's more cars around you, isn't there? So actually, you if you're P1, you're more clear of danger. If a crazy someone comes past you, then so be it, and you can damage limitation. But I think you'd rather be out front where there's more clean air than 2 cars in front of you, 2 cars behind you, because that's opening up the way for more chaos, isn't it?
Yeah, I basically what I'm thinking is, do I want to be as far away from Verstappen as possible?
I mean, yeah, you have Verstappen you'd have a McLaren P1, Verstappen second, a McLaren P3. That would be nice, wouldn't it?
And that's probably like one of the likeliest scenarios as well.
Seems perfectly plausible, doesn't it? It depends which Piastri we see in Abu Dhabi, which Norris we see in Abu Dhabi as well. But I mean, brilliant. Can't come soon enough for me.
But also, think about this race last season. There would be a kind of beautiful symmetry or poetry if Piastri is P3, Verstappen P2, Norris P1. Finally, team orders come in and Piastri just plows into Verstappen at turn 1, knocks him out.
Oh, I hadn't thought about that.
It's all right, isn't it? It's all right.
Imagine.
Yeah.
And you can see and Stella and Brown ripping up Papaya Rules on the pit wall. I like your thinking. That's quite warped, but...
Yeah, it is a bit warped. But in a strange way, I think Verstappen would kind of respect it.
Yeah, fair play. They've finally done me at my own game.
All right then. So let's do our final predictions. Do you want to give me your 1, 2, 3?
Oh God, no, not really.
No, I know. Do you want to hear what the AI has gone for first?
Well, I don't know whether that's good or not. Yeah, go on. Hit me with the AI. I think I know what I'm doing.
The AI is just nothingy really. Norris, Verstappen, Piastri, fine.
Do you know that's what I was gonna do? But you're going to go for Verstappen for the win, aren't you?
Yeah, I think so.
I'll go. Ooh.
This is the most nervous I've ever seen you. I like it. You're all over the place, mate. Just spit it out.
I actually, this is one of the toughest ones because I just haven't got a clue how it's going to play out. Partly because I'm sort of.
That's why we love
head
it.
and heart are a bit confused. Okay. I will go Norris, Piastri, Verstappen.
Yawn. I am going to go. I'm going big.
This is going to be sensational. Bortoletto.
Verstappen.
Yeah.
Piastri.
Yeah.
Russell.
Oh my God.
How do you like that?
I tell you what, if you're right, you deserve whatever bonus. What
I will say is I don't even particularly believe it, but I just want to put it out there.
That's great, that is.
Yeah. I think Norris might crumble.
Oh my God.
He might crumble, even though
I feel more nervous now you've said your choice. I could conceivably see Russell up there. I could really.
Yeah.
Fair play. If you get that right, that's staggering. And then who wins the title?
Verstappen.
Like where? Yeah. So where you've got Norris finishing a lowly. Yeah. Well, outside below.
Yeah. Fourth doesn't matter. Yeah.
Oh, I love this.
Yeah.
I love this. This can't come soon enough this weekend.
A six pointer and Verstappen winning. It's a decent end to the season for me. I say that. The mad thing is, I don't have a driver. Like I'm not not like I am a Verstappen fan.
But you love the story. You love the story and the theatre and the drama and all of that stuff. And this is the best story, isn't it? Pipping them at the finish.
Yeah.
That's
for a fifth world title out of nowhere. Yeah.
Absolutely brilliant.
So based on your prediction, you're saying that Norris is winning.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
I think he'll hold it together, but just any eventuality is possible. I mean, really and truly. I sort of see it to Norris v Verstappen. Maybe that's incorrect. I sort of see Piastri's not quite there, but we'll see.
What a bland prediction from you. And we will select a listener prediction to represent you, the audience. Not too late if you want to share your prediction for this final race. Go to our Instagram stories or our YouTube comments. And also remember to follow us on Instagram, TikTok, or YouTube. Search for the Inside Track Podcast or check out the show notes. We'll be back next Monday for our final episode of this season to review all the drama from Abu Dhabi, look back at the season on the whole, and then look forward to 2026 and these big regulation changes with some exclusive insider insight, as always, from Team Red Bull. The Inside Track is funded and made by BBC Studios, a commercial company. It is wholly owned by the BBC. It's produced and edited by John Weeks, video editing and social media by Georgina Revel, and James Cook is the executive producer.